Oh, Tom, are we on? You couldn't have made that less obvious. Hello, welcome back to Stretford Paddock. We're back with another paper talk. Got a couple of things to go through today. Got the news about the safe standing at Old Trafford. Some news on Odion Ighalo making his debut at Chelsea. So we're going to start with the safe standing stuff. Now, there's various reports this morning that United are set to introduce a new safe standing system at Old Trafford. Obviously, you've got different reports saying different things. Some are saying that United have inquired about it, and others saying that, it could even be in place before the end of the season. But then again, it's going to depend on how quickly the club can get a response. So, back in September as well, there was reports that United were putting together a detailed study as to whether the idea to introduce some seats with safety barriers was feasible. So judging by the recent reports, it does seem like there could be some legs to this, and we could finally get some safe standing seats at Old Trafford. You'll know if you're a match-going fan, obviously going to Old Trafford. The atmosphere can be pretty poor at times. Just when you're standing up, trying to get the atmosphere going, you're getting told to sit down, even starting songs, and you're still getting told to shut up and sit down again. That's happened to me this season at the Liverpool game, getting threatened to thrown out for just singing some songs as football fans should. So hopefully this goes through and the atmosphere does start to pick up, but more importantly that it is safe, and of course everyone in there can have a good time, but obviously within the safety guidelines. And I think the atmosphere in most Premier League grounds now isn't what it should be. I think it's more the attitude from stewards as well. I think it's the same at all grounds, not just Old Trafford. I think Chelsea the same, Arsenal, Liverpool. Liverpool fans will probably tell you different. They've got the best atmosphere in the world, apparently, according to them lot. But you see better atmospheres at grounds like Crystal Palace and Wolves and places like that. So, like I say, fingers crossed this goes through, and we will keep you updated on it as the news progresses. Moving on to our other story, Odion Ighalo will go straight into the squad for United's next game away at Chelsea, despite missing the warm weather training in Marbella. A couple of quotes from Ole saying, "Yeah, he is going to travel with us. We will just see his fitness work this week, and we will get him sharp. We want to integrate him as quickly as we possibly can. Of course, he is desperate to play with us. Obviously, while the squad have been over in Spain, we've seen videos of Ighalo doing double training sessions, training with Taekwondo teams. So, when he does come into the squad, he is going to make an instant impact. And, it'd be interesting to see what capacity Ighalo plays in the Chelsea game, whether he's going to come straight into the starting lineup, replacing Martial, who is probably out of form at the minute and is coming under a lot of stick, or partnering Martial, which could see us go back to a 3-5-2 formation that we've used against the bigger teams the majority of this season. Obviously, using it away at City both times where we were successful, and the Liverpool game at home and away. I mean, the thing with Ighalo, you got the media, obviously the biased media against United, saying that it's a gamble. I don't see how it's a gamble, because there's no clause in the contract to buy come the end of his loan, and nobody's expecting Ighalo to come in and start pulling up trees and score just short of 20 goals and single-handedly fire us into the FA Cup final, the Europa League final, and get us back into the top four comfortably. He's come in to give us a different option, and we know he's going to give it everything he's got, because he clearly loves the club. And I don't see the gamble that the media are going on about. There's nothing in my mind that suggests it is a gamble, and I'm sure he's going to come in and, like I say, try as hard as he possibly can, because he's a fan just like the rest of us. And so we are going to come over to a few of your comments now. Let's have a look. Rashford, Ighalo and Martial is not a bad front three. Yeah, possibly. I think by the time Rashford's back injured, Ighalo's probably going to be on his way back out due to his loan being up. But if Rashford's recovery does get a bit more quick, then we could possibly see that towards the end of the season. Let's have a look at a few more. I think safe standing is a good idea. The atmosphere hasn't been the same since all-seater stadiums were introduced. Yeah, I probably tend to agree with you there, mate. I think, obviously, we've had to, over time, we've had to, be a bit more safe with the seating and stuff, obviously, with incidents that have happened in the past. So, my fingers crossed now. We've got the capabilities to make safe standing safe, and obviously, and fingers crossed. Like I say, it does go through. Ighalo is a finisher. If someone feeds him, he will score a lot. I think you saw from his time at Watford, especially in his first season in the Premier League, when he does get given chances, he does tend to tuck him away. And now we've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes in there as well. Possibly Paul Pogba coming back as well, but who knows what's going on in that department. And of course, McTominay coming back as well. Fred having the season of his life. So hopefully he's going to get a few chances, and he just took him away. I'm more excited to see Martial on the left, to be honest. I think the debate with Rashford was always whether he's a striker or as a left winger, but that was been put to bed now. He's definitely a left winger, as we've seen this season. And I think with Martial, I think that one's still there. There's some people that suggest he's not physical enough. He doesn't make enough movement, enough runs to be an out-and-out number 9. He's not in the box enough, which I probably would tend to agree with a lot of the time. And he possibly is more suited to being out on the left, coming in onto his right foot. But it's a tricky one. I think with Martial, I'm Martial FC, so I'm going to try and not be as biased as I can be here. But I think a lot of the times, some of the stick he does get is a bit unfair. I think a lot of the times he does make runs, and we haven't really had anyone in the team to find him. And he is our best finisher. I know Rashford's scored 19 goals before his injury, but I think in front of goal 9 times out of 10, Martial's putting it away. I think he's best finisher we've got at the club. So I think it just comes down to creating chances, and he gets stick for being inconsistent. But then again, we're an inconsistent team, so I definitely see us want to stick with Martial through the middle for the majority of the season. And fingers crossed he can. Just prove the doubters wrong. Let's move on to a few more. Everton ground is so quiet to be able to hear a pin drop. I think Everton, Goodison Park's a bit derelict looking at it as well. It doesn't seem like the best stadium to go to. A few more. Ole Gunnar work for Man United and Marcus Rashford. I'm assuming you're asking if those two will work in the same team. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Obviously, if Rashford does come back before the end of the season, which he's talking up on social media like it seems like he might do, I think we might hopefully see Rashford out on that left-hand side again and Ighalo through the middle, so I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen. I feel like our strikers would be better if we had a good midfield. Completely agree, just what I've said there, mate. I think, Martial, and maybe not so much Rashford, but I certainly think Martial has suffered a lot from not having, people playing those balls in behind, so I think that's why you've got to give him a bit more of a chance this season. Ighalo has got pace and strength. Hope he brings it to United. And I'm sure everyone's seen the video of him doing the protecting the ball training in the gym as well. And that's something we don't really have. As much as I love Martial, he's not the most physical striker, and I don't feel like we have that sort of presence in the team. So I'm sure again that is going to be a welcome addition to the team. Have a look at a few more before we wrap it up, if there is any. The rumour is Martial is on his way out in the summer. I could probably see that coming as well. After the City game in the Carabao Cup, Ole was coming out saying, what a striker that's going to break his nose to score a goal. But then Ole sort of counteracts that by saying, he's happy with Martial, he's had a chat with him, he's happy with his work rate. So it's a bit mixed signals in that department. I think Martial's always one that he's probably going to end up going. Maybe somewhere like a Serie A or a Bundesliga or maybe a La Liga would suit him. So we are going to have to wait and see on that one. And I think, if Haaland, if we'd have sealed Haaland in January, I feel like Martial probably definitely would have been on his way in summer, but we might have to stick with him until we try and get a better striker in some people's opinion. People already rating Ighalo ahead of Martial without playing a single game yet. Yeah, I think you've got to wait and see. I think, like I said, I don't think Ighalo is going to come in and set the world alight, but he's certainly going to give us a different option. And we're just going to have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, don't be putting him ahead of Martial just yet. Even Rashford would improve if we had passes like Scholes, Carrick, Rooney setting him up. Yeah, completely agree again. We were even having this conversation in the office this morning talking about some of the passes that Carrick had played to Chicharito, I think in the FA Cup game against Chelsea in 2013, I think. Rooney liked a good switch ball, and obviously we all know what Paul Scholes was capable of. So yeah, I feel like if we had those midfielders now, obviously Rooney wasn't a midfielder, but later in his career he did sort of drop back into that position. I feel like we would have probably scored a few more goals and probably would be higher up the table than we are now. Right, guys, I think we are going to wrap it up there. Cheers for tuning in. If you like the video, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will be back with the podcast later on as well, so make sure you tune in for that. See you in a bit.